Time to get the latest action from the World Cup, and I'm joined by James Vecina and Andreas Ivagora. Good to have you both. James, let's start with Argentina's miracle of a performance, but one that has angered the Egyptian side, understandably so.
Understandably so. We'll get to that. Let's just run through the game, how things went, because it was pretty incredible. Last night, led 2-0 after Yasser Ibrahim and Zico put the Pharoahs ahead. Argentina pulled off the most spectacular comeback that we've seen so far. The clock ticking in the 79th minute. Christian Romero found the net before Lionel Messi equalised 4 minutes later. The Argentinians weren't planning on seeing it through to extra time. Enzo Fernandez scored 2 minutes into stoppage time to take the lead and make it 3-2. 13 minutes that turned the game on its head. Messi's journey continues despite missing a penalty early on. He was in tears, you can see there, at the end of the game. And he wasn't the only one.
I always get emotional. Sometimes the tears just come. They come in the locker room too. The guys even call me crybaby now. I became the coach so that when I stopped playing, I could still experience these emotions. That's the reason, not because I enjoy being a coach. I suffer just like all of you when I'm on the bench. The magnitude of today's events is comparable to so many major moments we've experienced. Why? Because it's the feeling of a team that, regardless of the circumstances, never stops pushing forward, never stops trying to play its own game.
So as I say, we'll get to the refereeing in just a minute. If you can be just tiny bit of patience. I know we want to get straight into it there, Delano. But first, let's just talk about Argentina. Led 2-0. What a comeback. And, I mean, they are the only side who can pull something off like that.
It certainly was a brilliant last 15 minutes. Their fans might be asking why did they wait till they were 2-0 down to play like that, because they were, frankly, very poor, really, till that last 15 minutes. But suddenly something switched. All the talk about Messi, but McAllister I thought was really good. I thought Alvarez was pulling the Egyptian defenders around, who were tiring. They were visibly getting tired towards the end. And it was a brilliant last 15 minutes, and they did the job. But remember, they just got past Cape Verde 3-2 in the last round. Another one, 3-2 just. So they're just about getting through, but very impressive in that last 15 minutes. But worried defensively, and they'll be maybe a little bit concerned that each of these games is so close with tougher games to come.
But for Egypt, was it a matter of them just losing things at the end, or, I mean, deservedly come from Argentina in the end?
I think Argentina just went through the gears, and Egypt found that very difficult to deal with.
And there was something that you could feel when that first goal came in, that this was not a surprise. I mean, I wasn't that surprised seeing what happened in a way, because we know it is capable, but you could see, as you say, that shift of gears.
I think so. I think Egypt probably not used to facing that kind of opposition on a regular basis or any basis. And Argentina knew that, their World Cup was on the line. They went through the gears. I think they were a little bit fortunate, but these things happen in football. And, it's going to take a very good defence to beat them. But I think, defensively, they showed that there's a few things to work on for Argentina. But they're still in the tournament. That's all they care about.
And it definitely is. And they've been crying about it. Absolutely. I mean, we've seen a lot of men crying on the pitch on the last few days. Let's talk about the man who you can see there on the screen. Lionel Messi. He's been breaking records throughout. He broke a record in the last game, not one that he was probably going to be looking for. He's the first man to have missed 2 penalties at a World Cup. Seems incredible that that's never happened before, if we take out any penalty shootouts. He's scored. He's taken 8 penalties in his lifetime at the World Cup. Missed 4 of them. That's not a great rate. 50% success rate for man Messi.
It's a very poor rate, because the percentage of penalties that goes in is around 85%. So no, it's very poor. And maybe goalkeepers have studied him so much they know what he's at. And no, he's not the best penalty taker.
Why are Argentina still going with him then?
Oh well, this is that we've talked about this a lot. It's this star system where coaches feel they have to play Ronaldo.
Right.
They have to count on their big players. Salah was there, even though he was tiring at the end. This is just part of modern football. And this World Cup, this World Cup is all about the personalities. It's about the A-list celebrities, and Messi's one of them.
Do you think he'll be taking any more? If the opportunity comes to that, he'll still go for it?
I think it would be a huge surprise if he doesn't step up and take the next one.
We wouldn't see McAllister step up, Alvarez or anyone else.
I would, but I'll never be the Argentina coach, James. So I do believe he will.
Okay, all right, we'll find out, Delano.
So, James, Egypt were just minutes away from making its way into the quarterfinals. What happened?
It would have been one of the biggest upsets that we've seen. I mean, Egypt coming up and 2-0 again. I mean, it was incredible. But Zico had that goal disallowed for a foul in the build-up. And after that, the players lost the leads and staff were furious. As you can see there, cards handed out. Match officials have been the target of criticism. And their manager, Hossam Hassan, says that Argentina shouldn't have won because of a foul on Mohamed Salah in the lead-up to their winning goal.
We were the best in everything, but the result was there were factors influencing it, not external but internal on the pitch and external before the match. Argentina's victory is entirely undeserved, and I promise you, I will not watch another game in this World Cup at all because there's no justice in it. I will not watch this World Cup again. When I get back home and back to our country, I won't be watching it.
Egypt's feeling very hard done to. There were, throughout the games, definitely, I think we can say, there were some calls going more in Argentina's favour. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, the referee didn't do them any favours. I think the biggest one, well, there were two big ones for me. The penalty that Argentina got was very, very soft penalty. I don't think that would have been given probably anywhere else on the pitch. Secondly, Zico scored a brilliant goal on the break at the start of the second half for Egypt. And the referees went all the way back and back and back, and they found what they thought was a foul. I think it was a 50-50. We have to remember the two referees. Jérôme Brizard was in the VAR room, François Letexier. These are, like all French referees, two of the fussiest, most finicky referees. They will find any detail and look through the rule book. Look, these guys have more knowledge of football rules in their little finger than I will ever have. But what I do know is that before that goal, the rule states that if a defending team has a chance to win the ball back, then you don't go back in the play. And that's what they did. I think Argentina did have a decent chance to win the ball back. I don't think it was a penalty on Mo Salah.
So on Salah, what was the Egyptians are saying was a foul on Mo Salah in the books by Alvarez, but then led to that winning goal. You don't see that one?
I don't think that was a foul.
Salah going down too early?
I think so. And at the beginning of this competition, FIFA and Colina, the head of refereeing at FIFA, said that he did want to allow a little bit more tackling, more chance for defenders to win the ball, which is
what
great.
We've been seeing.
But that's what Egypt did before their goal. So we're kind of saying that defenders are allowed to tackle, they're allowed to be physical within the rules, unless it's before a goal, which just doesn't make any sense. But look, overall, this is not the first time that a smaller team maybe hasn't been refereed as one of the giants. Won't be the last time. But I'm sure Hassan will watch the final once it comes up. He won't be able to resist, like all of us.
I was thinking the same when I hear him. Is there something though to say that the fact that what we're saying here wasn't a foul on Salah should have had a longer VAR check if there was that check that led to Zico's call being disallowed? Should there have been a bit more, levelling out of on both sides there?
Well, I think Egypt didn't quite interpret how VAR works. VAR is not a claim system. You don't go to VAR and make an appeal. This isn't tennis. VAR looks at anything. I know. I've been in a control room. I've listened to VAR referees. I've listened to on-field referees. VAR look at everything.
So literally. They're already looking at what's going on there.
They've got the video machines. They're looking back. There's three of them there. It's not like they haven't looked at it. They've looked at it and they didn't think there was a case to answer. That is how it works.
But there is a moment where if the referee does get called to the monitor,
well, then in 99% of cases he overturns the rule. So let's be honest. The Jérôme Brizard, who is the VAR referee, made that call. He made the call on the Salah penalty that wasn't given. I think that was justified. But he also made the call on that Zico goal, which means they have to go back and back and back. Looking through the video, you've done that, and it's like, okay, you go back far enough, you'll find something. I think that was very harsh. But Argentina in those last 15 minutes are exceptional. We can't forget that.
You can't take that away from them. Definitely not. Are we getting to a situation especially in these last few games, where everything is being questioned? We've had it we had Trump's intervention with Balogun, and now there seems to be some kind of momentum that shifted where decisions taken on the pitch. No, we're going to argue them later on.
This has always happened more so than ever. Obviously, more media, more social media. I would say that the decision to have a French referee, François Letexier, was kind of curious because, of course, in Argentina, they said ahead of the Argentina-France final, which people are presuming now, why is there a French referee? They're kind of presuming that he's not going to referee the thing fairly.
Yet, we've had from the Egyptian
maybe,
side complaints that having a French...
They don't want a French referee. And who's refereeing France against Morocco? An Argentine referee. Now,
and he's not alone. There are several of them in the game.
Now, maybe this is FIFA saying, look, this shows that all referees are out there and they're completely impartial. But why not just have a referee from England or Germany or Italy or another European referee? Then we maybe wouldn't have had this debate. Because don't forget, before the game, Argentina put huge pressure on Le Texier, saying you're not going to deny Messi another final, you're not going to deny us another. People are human. That might have had an impact.
Having an impact, but certainly for the referees going in there, I mean, you can't imagine how they've got to keep it out of their heads. Huge. The Egyptian Football Association has said that they plan to. That they have asked for an investigation by FIFA into the officiating of the game. Can we expect anything, do you think, to come out of that, given that it's FIFA themselves overseeing, of course?
No, nothing will come out of that, because what VAR does, there's two parts of VAR. There are decisions that are purely factual. Is something offside? Did the ball go over the line? But those decisions on Salah, on the Zico goal, it's one man's opinion against another. One man, you and me can disagree about something as a foul, and that's all it is. And I think that's why it creates so much controversy, because we were told VAR would get rid of all controversies. It hasn't, because there's so many cameras. There's 50 cameras in a World Cup match, 50. And there's the social media. And then, in general, society is much more questioning of authority than it's ever been. So people are going to question authority. Sadly, that's not going to stop. Maybe the only answer is to not have VAR, and then it's just one man's opinion, which is what it used to be before, the referee in the middle.
And who would have thought the arguments are still continued
to Donald Trump to reverse the decision. Anything's possible. Next, James, Argentina will be facing off Switzerland, the Swiss side, who've reached the quarterfinals for the third time.
For the third time, but it's the first time in over 70 years. So huge success for the Swiss side there. Recent history for them. Just 5 shots on target between the two of them. Switzerland taking on Colombia. Neither side were able to find the net, and there were some missed clear-cut opportunities. But that meant that the penalties shootout came after that, a tense shootout. Davinson Sanchez hitting the bar for Colombia. Manuel Akanji sending his right over. Gregor Kobel then saved Cucho Hernandez's efforts, meaning that Switzerland won 4-3 on penalties. A big step ahead then. And here is Manuel Akanji, who, despite missing that penalty, is glad that his side has made it through, of course. Here he is.
It means a lot to us. It means we worked really hard over the last 6, 7, 8 years. I don't know. We gave a lot into that, and I think the hard work got paid off. But we're not done yet. We try to give our all in the next round, and hopefully we can advance to the semi-final.
So Switzerland take on Argentina next. What's going to happen there? Is that something that they can manage, perhaps?
Swiss a little bit under the radar. Maybe it's the national character. I'm going to go on a limb. I think Switzerland will go through somehow. First quarterfinals is 1954, and a shout out to European teams. There's 6 European quarterfinalists. The last time there were more, you got to go all the way back to 1994 and the last World Cup in the USA. So whatever people are saying about European football, it's still dominating. And I think Switzerland might just squeeze past Argentina. That's my surprise for the quarterfinal.
Well, and we'll be talking about the other side of things tomorrow, where, of course, we've got just then one South American team through and one African team as well. So that's complete there at the round of 16 for now, Delano.
Thank you very much for that, James Vecina there. And, of course, we'll have to talk about tomorrow's match against Morocco.
Tomorrow's match against Morocco, and we'll see, of course, them. That's a replay of last edition's semi-final. Spain, meanwhile, continued their perfect run. They'll be trying to continue it, at least, against Belgium. So France versus Morocco, Spain versus Belgium. And after that, we've got Norway, who eliminated Brazil, meaning that they take on England. And Argentina face Switzerland for the last match to come there in those quarter-finals. And the good news is, for those of us who are on this side of the planet, will be able to watch those games in slightly earlier hours. The last one, though, for Argentina, 3 a.m. Paris time on that one. We'll leave things there just for now. And as always, a thought for fellow journalist Christophe Glaise, who remains imprisoned in Algeria 2 years, and who's been watching the games over in prison in Algeria. He's been following the World Cup from there, but the thoughts, as always, for him.
James, Andreas, thank you very much. More news coming up. Stay with us.